Last year, Red Bull Gaming made a documentary film about the most iconic titles in esports history, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This two-part series celebrated the players, teams, and unforgettable moments that shaped over a decade of esports history. Everyone who has some knowledge about esports knows that Red Bull sponsors players and events. But how did Red Bull become a powerhouse in esports marketing? And what exactly helps Red Bull market their products by esports? I'm Dmitry Afanasyev, let's break it down. Red Bull's story began in 1970s with creating Dang, a Thai energy drink created in 1970s for a Thai working class. In 1982, Austrian businessman Friedrich Mateschitz discovered this drink during his trip to Thailand and saw its global potential. And that way he co-founded Red Bull in 1984. But Mateschitz made some changes to suit Western tastes. He made it by adding carbonation, reducing sweetness, and introducing silver and blue can. And an interesting fact, he outsourced all the production part to the pharmacy company in order to focus himself on the best thing he could do, marketing. And instead of using traditional ads like TV or radio, Mateschitz focused on action sports and storytelling, and it helped him to transform Red Bull into one most iconic brands of energy drinks, and right now the market share of Red Bull is approximately 40%. Red Bull recognized the potential of esports early on and made strategic moves to build credibility. Sponsoring top players like Faker from League of Legends helped them establish trust within the community. And they didn't stop at sponsorships. Red Bull launched events, training programs, and exclusive content that elevated the entire esports ecosystem. They built a strong reputation by actively contributing to the growth of the industry and the esports community. Red Bull Kumite is a series of tournaments by Red Bull that is primarily focused on the game called Street Fighter. Started in 2015, the event has established itself as one of the most prestigious fighting game tournaments and has been held annually around the world, from Paris to Tokyo. And last year, the tournament took place in New York's Brooklyn, which is characterized as a mecca for fighting games in America. And to promote the tournament, Red Bull hosted a pre-event activation in Times Square that featured the public going up against professional players in Street Fighter 6 with a gameplay broadcast to one of the massive screens while being commentated on by casters. The second campaign that I really like is Red Bull Flick. Red Bull Flick, some kind of a reimagined CSGO experience by introducing custom maps and exclusive game modes that were designed specifically for 2v2 battles. And this innovative format brought a new level of excitement to the game by shifting focus from traditional competitive play to fast pace and creative scenarios. And this way we can see that Red Bull tried to appeal both to hardcore and casual players by adding some diversity to the game while maintaining its competitive integrity. The third campaign that I really like is OG Against the Odds. The OG Against the Odds documentary captured the remarkable journey of OG's Dota 2 team, chronicling their unexpected rise to victory at the International. And this film delves into personal struggles of players, including setbacks, internal conflicts, and their eventual triumph against all odds. It focused on the emotional challenges that were faced by the team, proving the power of storytelling and building deeper connections with fans. And right now, the documentary film gained approximately 7.8 million views on YouTube. I think it's a great example of making emotional connection to your brand. And the last campaign that I'm going to talk about today is Red Bull Solo Queue in League of Legends. Red Bull Solo Queue, some kind of revolutionized amateur level of competition in League of Legends by providing 1v1 tournaments. These tournaments were hosted across multiple countries, and this tournament offered grassroots players a chance to compete on a global stage. So we can see that Red Bull went beyond traditional tournaments, and it was really something new. It also provided exclusive coaching sessions, professional commentary, and immersive live events. And interesting fact, the finals were held in stunning locations such as castles and esports arenas. It helped to combine competitive spirit with memorable aesthetics. So we can see that this contribution of Red Bull to LOL community just strengthened their connection of the community to their brand. And I also think that it empowered amateur players to dream really, really big, because they provided them an opportunity to compete on a big stage. And Red Bull went even further by creating dedicated esports hubs like Red Bull Gaming Sphere in cities like London and Tokyo. And moreover, they started opening their esports hubs at universities like at the Metropolitan University in Toronto. These spaces provide professional grade setups for events, player training, and community activities. And by investing in infrastructure, Red Bull reinforced its commitment to supporting esports growth. So finally, we can see that Red Bull's marketing works because it prioritizes value over traditional advertising. Instead of focusing on flashy push campaigns, they focus on building community and building emotional bond between their brand and their audience. And they do it greatly by their events and their content. Their strategy is built on 3 pillars. The first one is storytelling. They highlight the human element in esports, making their content relatable and impactful. The second is community engagement. They create experiences that really resonate deeply with players and fans, like with LOL solo queue tournaments. And the third pillar is long-term investment. And by sponsoring players, teams, and esports hubs at universities, they ensure that the community will be linked to them for a longer time. And here is what Red Bull's success teaches us. The first thing is to build campaigns that add some value to the community, because it feels more authentic and genuine. The second one is to use storytelling to make emotional connections between the audience and your brand. And the third lesson is to focus on innovation to keep your audience engaged. So Red Bull's example shows us that it's not necessary to overspend on traditional ads. Sometimes it's more important to invest heavily in building your community. And finally, next time I'm going to present you an interesting case study that will certainly help you to market your video game and give you some ideas for your content creation. I'm Dmitry Afanasyev. See you soon. Yeah guys, probably you can see that I'm a little bit tired, so I drink Red Bull to fulfill myself with energy.